Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see or hear. Read all about it. Read all about it. To the world. To the world.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Joe Caulfield and Greg Davis, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer. What is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Gary, which category would you like?
Media, please, Dara.
OK, your category is media. The answer is 600 metres. What is the question?
Is it, if Kelvin Mackenzie was to do a bungee jump from a height of 500 metres, what length rope should he be given?
Is it, in fact, what head start would I need if I was competing against Usain Bolt in the 100 metres?
Is it simpler than that? Is it how big are some trees, Dara?
No trees are
I thought it might be simpler.
Is it how far is the Queen's bed from her ensuite bathroom?
How far away can Boris Johnson smell of custard cream?
Is it, in fact, how far can the Proclaimers walk now?
Is it at what distance is Theresa May attractive?
None of the rest of us could do that, but good to have you on board.
Is it when kicking Chris Brown in the bollocks, exactly how long a run-up should you take?
Is it proportionally, if a clown's nose was the size of Dara's head, how long would his shoes be?
Is it how long was the longest runner bean ever grown at the Fukushima nuclear plant?
Is it, in fact, how long would your penis be if all the products in the spam emails worked?
Is it what is the delivery radius of a relatively unambitious pizza company?
Is it? Sorry, we'll move towards the correct answer, please.
Is it the distance that Prince Philip sprinted to get hold of a copy of the French magazine Closer? Am I close?
You can be closer.
Is it, in fact, the distance that they were taking shots of Kate topless?
That is absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, the question I was looking for was, from what approximate distance did a photographer take pictures of the Duchess of Cambridge sunbathing topless? This is the news that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have taken legal action against French magazine Closer, which has printed topless photographs of Kate.
Called,
it's called, I don't know, the French call it Closer for some reason. We have a French woman working the show, and I'm going, sure, it's Closet. She goes, no, Closer. A French court has blocked future publication of the pictures in France, but they've already been published in Italy and Ireland.
There's loads of royals who've been snapped naked, haven't they? Obviously Harry, you know, now Kate, then we had Andrew before that, Charles before that, Countess of Wessex. I mean, there have been, in fact, so many of them, I think they should persuade a few more of them to do it, and then they could release a charity calendar.
The thing is, isn't it? It is terrible, it's unjustifiable, it's immoral, but I quite want to see the pictures.
Are you saying you haven't seen them yet?
I haven't. I've seen fuzzy versions of them on the...
I think
They're all fuzzy. Pictures were taken from the Hubble telescope.
From the Hubble telescope.
What I found intriguing was I think, I don't know what everyone was, I was certainly waiting for the next time she appeared in public to see if she would acknowledge what had happened to the cameras. And she didn't. She just did the same smile that she always does. Because if someone had photographed my meat and two veg, I probably would have come out and gone...
I think the whole thing is just making a mountain out of 2 molehills.
That's a good point.
I'd probably be better, I think, the BBC preferred if we didn't descend into judging the woman's breasts. That would be the incorrect direction.
Okay, I think she's annoyed because, and every woman's had this on holiday, because I've looked at the photos, and they're at that awkward angle. When you're topless, you've got to stay at a certain position or it's not attractive, and she's in that reaching for the sun cream position. That's what she's annoyed about. You know, we've all got those photos, like my Uncle Terry, where he popped out of his shorts.
But do you think...
I didn't see that edition of Closer. Joe's Uncle Terry pops out of the shops and his shorts.
Do you think she's genuinely worried about it, though? Don't you think there's just one tiny... Well, do you think there's just one tiny bit of her that's thinking, yeah, where's my sister's arse now, then, eh?
So they put it, no British newspaper editors have published the picture, although they have all had a proper think about it. But the massive hypocrisy of it is astonishing. The Sun, I like it when the Sun gets on its high horse about something. It said, well, no responsible paper would touch this with a barge pole. 2 weeks ago, you were doing everything you could to show us Harry's barge pole.
Which publications have printed the photographs?
Closer.
The
Irish Daily Star,
The Irish Daily
because
Star.
she's not your future queen.
Well, that was the Irish Daily Star thing. There's an Italian magazine called Key and the Irish Daily Star both publish it, but they give very different excuses, right? The Italian excuse is but they are young and they are beautiful and they are in love. And the Irish Daily Star was, she's not our queen.
Yeah.
But when they publish photos like that, and they're always photos like that, not of the royals, but they're, you know, kind of topless photos in magazines shot with a long lens, they are always there's kissing and cuddling in the pool, and then they're putting sun cream on each other. And these are meant to be sexy, erotic. There's nothing less erotic than putting sun cream on your partner's back, is there? It's just something you have to do. Yeah. And the reason you have to do it is because you can't put sun cream on your own back, so you've got to reach a deal with the person who's going to do it. That's all, isn't it? That's all it is.
I was photographed on a holidays once by Papt, yeah. I was taking a holiday and I was doing exactly that. And the pictures, if you saw them, they were quite shocking. But and it was an intrusion.
That wasn't on holiday, was it, Dara?
No, that was no holiday.
It was at our house, wasn't it, Dara?
Where do we get
the least erotic thing I've ever seen?
Where does a guy in the office find the source photograph?
I believe he has your laptop.
Yes. In other royal news, who's been found in a car park in Leicester?
Stan Collymore.
This is Richard III, isn't it?
It is Richard III, yes.
Do you know about Richard III?
I know a little bit about Richard III, yes.
Well,
although my image of Richard III would be kind of, because we weren't taught a lot of that in school, is of the Shakespeare...
So he was...
I think that was...
Skywalker! Your friends cannot save you now! Oh, the Death Star will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
You get a different version. You get a different version to us.
Richard III was the man who lost the War of the Roses to Alan Titchmarsh. And he died at the Battle of Bosworth, and his remains have been found under a car park in Leicester, which is great, but they don't know what to do with him because he's lost his ticket and he's got £6,000 in back payments. He's got to pay another 50 because he's buried across 2 spaces.
I'm amazed that anyone's shocked about finding him. The state of car parks these days, you can't walk 10 feet without putting your feet in a Richard III.
It's not a big deal either, is it? They found him in...
It's not a big deal.
They found Richard... It's not a big deal. They find Prince Harry in a skip most weeks.
It's an amazing addition to Leicester's Hall of Fame. They've got Engelbert Humperdinck, Shawaddy Waddy, Rusty Lee and now Richard III. It's the worst variety show of all.
All MC'd by Gary Lineker.
Please tell me that he comes on at the end.
I'm suspicious it is Richard III, but firstly because, you know, they didn't have car parks in the olden days, and also because they found the bones in a small cardboard box labelled Southern Fried Chicken.
Well, I think that's the reason.
Chickens do have a curvature of the spine.
Yes, they do.
Wings.
It is, yes.
And people were a lot smaller then, so
They
it's
were,
not
you're
right.
They weren't the size of a chicken.
There's a fact going, I have found
Yeah.
Richard III. Just a chicken carcass. Yeah, look. We didn't have to dig. One of the cars pulled out and it was just here. It was just sitting there.
They think he killed the Princess in the Tower. They're not quite sure, but they think it was with a candlestick or the lead piping. That's one thing. And they think that now he was probably quite a good king, in fact. Don't they? He also said a horse, a kingdom for a horse.
I think he should be saying, the Force! My empire for the Force! Skywalker! That is the greatest thing of everything in the world. Like, the Death Star will be quite operational.
Does appear to be in monkey. This.
Yeah.
I
have
We've
given-
got like a Chinese Death Star. This Death Star a lot cheaper than the other Death Star. But it's not faster. What the hell is this? You cross my palm with my lightsaber. I tell you fortune.
We'll deliver to Endor! Endor outside our range!
You have to collect. I put down the force field so you can get in, innit?
I'm looking forward to the worldwide distribution of this episode.
We were merely doing impressions of one another's impressions.
Yes. I was quite shocked to see the picture of him, because I read today he's only 32. He looks like Doc Cotton.
To be fair to him now, that's not actually a picture of him, because they couldn't take pictures at the time. That's probably a painting or something. Yeah.
Paparazzi back then. If his wife was showing her boobs on a balcony, would somebody have got like a tapestry cushion and stuff?
If you've already got the cushion, it's relatively easy just to sew a nipple on the top, and there you go. At the end of that round, the points go to Grant, Joe and Andy. Now we play a round called Titty Titty Ban Ban. This game involves Joe, Gary and Andy, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. The first subject is... sport. Who wants to give me that? Andy Parsons.
So, it was the Olympic parade last week. It was great seeing it live. Obviously, I had to keep a certain amount of a low profile in the crowd because I was throwing a sickie from work at the time. But it was great. 21 buses driving through London at a steady 2 miles an hour. So very like a normal day in London, really. There was an embarrassing moment, though, when one of the conductors rang the bell on the bus and then got the shit kicked out of him by the blind football team. And I realised, actually, that I could get into any sport during the Olympics. The only sport I couldn't actually get into, dressage. Watching a horse walk and then reverse. They call it horse ballet. I don't think anybody would go and see ballet if it was just some bloke walking a bit quicker, slowing down a bit, stopping, bowing, and then pissing off. And secondly, not many people go to ballet anyway because it's shit.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's see what the next subject is. And it's the internet. Who wants to come up? Joe.
The internet. You know when you buy things on Amazon and they have recommendations? You know, like the person who purchased this also purchased this. I was thinking I would like to hack into Amazon and put up my own recommendations. So, like, the customer who purchased My Story by Danny Minogue also purchased a length of rope and a wobbly chair. Customers who bought the book Fabulous Photos of Puppies and Kittens also bought Why Men Leave. And customers who bought 50 Shades of Grey also bought a great big cucumber. crime is apparently on the rise because of the recession, because we're all short of money. Like, in my family, like, my granddad has to go into a home, and these places are very expensive, but we found somewhere, and it's really nice, because he's got his own sort of kitchenette, he's got his own shower stall, there's an outside space with plants and shrubs and stuff. Best thing is, it's completely free. We've left him in home base.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Spin the wheel.